Welcome back to another episode of Who Should You Choose, the video series where I go through the prior videos, questions, and comments and help you with your hut lineup decisions. Today is the last day before I head to Montreal for the Four Nations face-off. So if you are going to be in Montreal, specifically at the Canada-US game, if you see me walking around the concourse or whatever, come say hi, man. I always like meeting people, in the community. So I will be down there for that game. And my event specifically that I am broadcasting will be the 3-on-3 creator skills competition where a USA and Canadian creators are going to play a best of 3-on-3 against each other, and I'll be the voice of it. So that'll be on the NHL's YouTube channel. I've been talking about this a little bit, but if you want to check that out, I believe it's 3:30 Eastern time on Friday. We're going to be in the Bell Center, so really excited to get to go to that. But nonetheless, I will have a few videos dropping. I did record a no money spent video. I do want to do a gameplay one where I just look at gameplay, and maybe I'll just start, taking a game and then just throwing that in throughout the week. Not so much a no money spent video, but just maybe like here's a gameplay breakdown because I saw a lot of people really enjoyed that, and I liked making it. So that being said, let's get into today's questions and comments. With team builders dropping, there are a lot of team builder questions, so I'll try and address all the ones that I see. But most it says, "Hey Sleeves, thanks for the videos every day. They're so helpful. I want your opinion on which team builder I should make. I have 289 team builders right now, only one still on the team, and one and can make one new one. I'm an Oilers fan. That's why I have Gretzky on line one, even though I hate the card art for it. Like, why the Blues of all teams he played for? The reason why is because the last few years, they used the Edmonton Oilers Gretzky, and then last year I believe it was the Kings Gretzky. I think it was NHL 23 where they used both. But nonetheless, like that's why they're just mixing it up. Anyways, here's my free-to-play lineup. He's got Matt, Gretzky, McDavid, Mario, Dvorsky, Larkin, Nylander, Messier, and Kucherov with Solani, Couture, and Backstrom. Very similar to my lineup. You have all of the very good ones. Then you've got Makar and Ekholm, Champ, Seabrook, Keller, Axel, Sandin, Palika, and Gallagher Grades Coffee. Okay, so the clear best one from the team builder list is Linden. Understand that like team builders, guys, their value is only immediate. I want to kind of talk about this a little bit. Their value drops more than it ever has very quickly because they basically stay within the progression, right? So we have 91s, team builders are 92, but this release specifically, some of them are like you could have him for the rest of the game, like Linden specifically because of his 99 faceoffs. And in this instance, you could put him on the squad. You could put Dvorsky. You really don't need a center. That's the problem, right? Like that's the issue here. I actually think it's probably Adam Foote to replace Champ Seabrook. That because I would love to make Foote. The problem is I have Parayko and Makar, so there's just no point in doing that. I would actually go Adam Foote. Yeah, I would go Adam Foote in your case. Hey Sleeves, can you help me provide some advice on my lineup? Here's my current team. He's got McDavid and Linden, McKinnon, Kucherov, Larkin, Lemieux, Sakic, Gretzky, Nylander. I'm looking to get in on one of the MSPs of the Four Nations event, but having trouble justifying moving on from any of the Gallagher Greats players since I love the free abilities and I'm an old school fan growing up watching all the Gallagher Greats players in their prime. I'm also a hockey nut and use EA NHL as one of my ways, as one of the many ways to be into hockey, including the Four Nations event. I've grinded the objectives and I have 3 Four Nations 88s, including my first Four Nation MSP. But Team of the Year emptied my collection, and I'm struggling to build the other 2 88s. Thank you in advance for your help, as well as your tips you provided the most recent Nobody Spent video. Definitely helped squeak out a couple more wins at Rivals. Have fun in Montreal. Thanks, man. What I would do is wait for week 2. Because we don't know who the 92 overall ultimates are yet. We're just looking at your team. Like, you don't want to have Thornton on your wing. I think that's kind of a waste. Getting Rantanen is by far the best one. I've gotten to use him in wild card. Just feels like a great card. But that being said, I would wait and see as to what comes out in week 2. So just hold tight until you see week 2. But currently, besides Gensel, you can only make defensemen for the USA. Huge oversight by EA. As someone who has finished all of the Four Nations objectives, including the one timer that came out yesterday, scoring 35 goals for the defenseman is ridiculous. Yeah, this is something that is overlooked by EA, 100% by the content team. Like they come out with the objectives, and they just don't realize that. A few times they've come out with like score goals with a certain player, but it's like the goalie. I agree. I don't think that because the we're getting into the point where the math isn't mathing. So every month progression goes up by +1, right? It's getting more and more expensive to make cards, but we're not really earning cards in a different way. So what I mean by that is it requires 588 overalls, essentially, right? That's inherently more expensive than 87s, especially when you can't use an 87 specifically. Like 87s have the same value as 86s. And in the Four Nations event, you have to use 86 overall Four Nations cards. You can't even use 87s and 86s from outside of the event to help make the cards. Like, it's absolutely scuffed. It makes no sense to me. And I don't know the pathing other than they're hoping that you have to buy more packs to get in on it. I really have no reasoning for it. But the one issue is that earning an 18 overall for free is pretty tough. You will get one, I believe, maybe two from just doing the daily store pack. Love that. That third one, however, you grind wild card, and you might be able to get one more. You still need two more 88s, and they can be from any event, but like they're still roughly going to be the same cost. It means you can't get it for free. The only way to do that is to get the 88 from the objective path. That objective path, again, I've said this a number of times. If the objectives make you play a game mode or the way that you don't want to play, that is awful. 35 goals with specific players from specific countries, you cannot play online. And until they address that, it's just not enjoyable. One fix would be give us a draft. Like, there's 4 countries. There's 4 countries in the Four Nations face-off. What if in wild card you drafted your team and you got every draft slot had a card from every country, and then wild card counted towards objectives? I can tell you why that wild card doesn't count towards objectives. One, it has its own reward path. That shouldn't matter. 2 is because they're worried about the matchmaking, the amount of people that play rivals. Because the majority of people would just play wild card because they probably enjoy it more, and they would be able to get objectives done there. The way they have objectives set up should not be the way it is because online players just simply can't do it. So if you're not going to give us the cards to complete it and play rivals with it, let us do it in wild card, man. And like the format and system is set up. Like you could do, don't give us players. Let us draft the whole team and just give us all the cards from the wild card, and we can go in and pick what country we want to have. And it's just, anyways. Can someone tell me if there's anything to do with collectibles that events are over and gone? Usually they let you use them for coins or keep the event up to allow people to use what they have. I've even seen them allow to use those unused collectibles to trade in for other events. I feel like I'm shit out of luck. Last year, we were able to make every single event MSP after the event was done. Like, not only use the collectibles from that event, but go back and make it if you weren't able to make it MSP during that event. I don't know why. I can tell you why that we're not able to, and that's simply just FOMO, and they want you spending money or time immediately every week. If they allowed you to make Ranton in 3 weeks from now because he's better, A, that takes away the value of the new event if they don't release banger cards, and B, you don't have to worry about trying to grind this week. It's just an awful tactic. This may be relevant as the time you are reading this, but as of right now, has anyone noticed if you open the 90,000 coin Team Canada pack in the store, you're guaranteed an 87 as there's no 86 overall for Team Canada players. This also has a high chance at an 88, which would work towards making an MSP. Just a thought I had and wanted to share with the community. Thanks for all the great content. Yeah, this is the case. Again, I think it's an oversight, specifically with Canada. I don't know what the value is because I believe an 88 from this event sells for like 90K. You're gambling because you might get the 87, and the 87 is like kind of pointless other than being able to work towards objectives, and then you need 2 more 86s to make an 88. But if you don't get the 88, the 90,000 coins is pretty tough. Hey man, after Team of the Year, and I've emptied my club and thus being only able to make one MSP from the new event, which one do you think would be the best? I'm also 2 icons away from my second hologram, but I'm unsure about going for Super Mario, OG, or love the content, or love the content and all they do for us. Um, like I said, if you need to make one right now, it's Rantanen. Simply because he's the best one. Um, but you do have to wait till week 2. Guys, always wait till week 2, the Friday at least. So wait a week, right? Because there's nothing worse than burning through, grinding it up. First of all, you have to grind a ton to make an MSP for free from the first week because you don't get that second dump of like stuff you can do to build an MSP. But secondly, usually the second week is better. It's usually the case. So you just got to wait for week 2. Lineup question. My lineup is Mac, Larkin. Mac, I don't know, Larkin. Barzy, Dvorsky, McDavid, connecting Thornton, Kucherov, Willie Miller, Matejko. With new team builder, do I make Trevor Linden or Doug? Trevor Linden, not close. Trevor Linden is probably the best center in the game. That is not Anthony Cirelli. So 100% Trevor Linden. Morning sleep, Swiss guy here. Bonjour, brother. It's my first NHL Hut season I'm playing. Just started when the Gallery of Greats event ended. I watched all your videos, tried my best. Do you have any advice or tips? Here's my lineup. He's got Hayduk, Heisey, McDavid, McKinnon, Gretzky, Kuj. If you didn't spend money, this is an absurd lineup. And if you did spend money, watch my videos all season next year. That way you don't have to spend any money. Thanks for keeping the great work. Dude, your team is unbelievable if you started right around Christmas time. There's not really any weaknesses here. Like, you've got a God Squad, so. I mean, hell of a first year at Hut, dude. Someone replies with this shocked face, like, hey, my reply was featured. Thanks, Sleeves. LOL update. I finished the Sweden goals 35 now, and I'm on my Finland players 35 and final goals. I've got like 20, so 15 goals with Carlson left. Such a brutal grind. Rookie squad battles for hours to get it done, but I literally need the 88 for the event as I finished with the XP path for a while now, so all I'm earning is what we get from objectives moments. Major issue. Reason why, again, I'm bringing this up is I want to know the pathing. If I could speak to one of the content developers, again, I actually think some of their ideas and content structures have been good. It's just the delivery has been missing a key feature or value throughout the entire year for a majority of the events. I talked about this event specifically. They nailed all the things they needed to do. Good MSPs, fantasy cards, and then they even went above and did the collection mechanic where the two countries, and they're so stingy with giving away or letting us use cards from the event. Like, we hate account-bound items. We can all agree with that. You want to fix the objective situation, and there's nothing technical you can do about it. Like, for instance, objectives should not be counting stats. It should be XP. Earn XP in whatever mode with a Canadian player works towards the Canadian objectives. You get the collectibles and so on and so forth. Not 35 goals because that's sitting there in squad battles. That's all you can do, right? That's outside of the content team's realm of possibilities because that's not on them. They don't have the tech available to do so. What they do have the tech to do, give us a line, account bound, of Canadian players. You could make them 86, 87, or 88s, and it's a full line. That way we can put the whole line in our team, right? And then when we finish Team Canada, we unlock the account-bound Finland team, and so on and so forth. There is no reason why you can't give us an exceptional amount of account-bound player items to at least complete these objectives, other than you want us to spend money to open up packs to get cards. And it's a business. I understand that. It's just, it gets tiring. Like, and I'm not talking about the hardcores. There's people that probably the majority of people that watch these videos, guys. If you're still watching, 90 episodes into February, you're probably addicted to the game, much like I am, right? Like, you can't leave it. It is a part of your life, and that's not just NHL. That's any video game. You have your comfort game that you just play a ton more than it's intended to be played because that's what and that's what we get into a groove. That's how life works as you get older, right? But when that becomes just such a drag, like, I gotta do these squad battle games, right? Like, you got to find a way to get people to enjoy the game more instead of being like looking at these objectives that I got to complete. Good Lord. The goal should be, or the goal should be, playing the game is the fun part, not playing the game because I have to get these done. And you shouldn't do that. If you do feel like that, you shouldn't do it. But there's a lot of people that can't because it's just, like I said, you're just addicted to the game. So giving us way more account bound players, just give us a whole line. That way we can work through these objectives in a far faster way. It doesn't impact the market when you give us account bound players. Yes, it sucks because they're in our collection, but then let us just quick sell them after, you know? Sleeves, being from Detroit, I'm baffled by the fact of what they are doing at this point. The best team in the NHL for the last month, and we have yet to see any good Raymond, Simon Edvinsson, Moritz Seider, who are statistically the best defensive defensemen in the league right now. Where are my Detroit cards? Well, I mean, you did get, like, I believe Moritz Seider got an MSP and for the Frozen Forces event. That being said, man, 3 days a week content. They eliminated almost all of the team of the week. There's no more prime times or anything like that. Game breakers show up like once a month. There's just not. I talked about this the last couple of videos. Like, there is like a fraction of the total amount of cards being released every week. And I don't think that it's necessarily a terrible thing from the sense of, like, if you go back and look at like NHL 21, dude, the sheer amount of cards that just were a waste was exceptional, right? And then when you combine that with the fact that it went from 5 days a week of content to 3 days a week, which again, I'm fine with as long as the content on those 3 days slaps. And if it doesn't, which for the most part it doesn't, you know, I don't know what's going on, because from my understanding, I think they have the biggest HUT content team that they've ever had. So I would love to see the workflow day to day, you know? Again, I don't really know. It might be far more difficult than I think. There might be other things that I don't know about, like planning about, you know, NHL 26 or something. I have no idea. But when it comes to like specific players on teams, you just gotta get lucky. That's the reality of the situation. So I'm sorry, man. This year more than any other year is just like there isn't a lot of reflecting and content that reflects real life performance. So. I gotta say, this year is frustrating as hell, as they just the things they added, just being able to intercept passes and things like that, has made the game so much better. I know the twos people hate, but you're protecting the puck. Oh, the L2ers hate it, but you're protecting the puck. It's a part of the game. But what ruins 25 is the fact that it's impossible to get anybody off the puck at this point. They over-nerfed hitting. I'm sorry if my guy's 6'5" and you're 5'10". I don't care if you're protecting the puck or not. If I'm going to hit you, I'm going to knock you off the puck. If they fixed the physics in the game, this would have been a great game, honestly. But the fact that you just have someone cycling down in the corner over and over again until they can get someone open for a one-timer or a short side shot for the goal, it's ruined the fun of the game. It's crazy because they are that close to having a really good, realistic hockey game, but they just overdo certain things. I'm just curious what your thought on this is, because I know you're very critical of this year, but they are so close yet so far away. I think one of the biggest issues is that there is a clear highlighting of arcadey gameplay. If you look back to NHL 23, no, 24, well, 23 introduced, 23 was the, like, pressure system and all of that, right? Or was that last year? They all blend together. I apologize. The full pressure system, I think, maybe it was last year. That's very arcadey, right? It's like, you're in the zone. Okay, now all my guys are just dead tired, and you get these big boosts, right? And then we get these crazy goalie animations that are all desperate out of nowhere when the goalie's tired. And then this year we get green beam one-timers. Like, you know, when someone walks into a one-timer in real life, it doesn't sound, you know, like a thunderclap from, you know, God himself. You know, it is a hard shot. But in this, it's like this crazy cannon that goes off. So they're going very arcadey. The thing I really don't like about NHL 25, the things I would do to fix it. One, get rid of the speed burst when you're protecting the puck using L2. That is not a real-life hockey play. No one gets faster out of that skating animation. If they just remove the speed boost you get from it, it's much easier to defend. Number two, bring back the ability that when someone is holding down L2, regardless of what they're doing with the puck, if you get bumped, I'm not talking about a hit, I'm talking about just flick up on the right stick to get a bump off. They stumble. It triggers the stumble animation, and the only way to counteract that was if someone had gold unstoppable force. Unstoppable force in this year's game is just very, very lackluster because everyone can hold on to the puck. If they made those two changes, that half L2 down the boards and throwing the puck in the middle or wrap around and whatever would be not nearly as impactful, right? The D2D one-timers, I don't necessarily hate because D2D score in real life. The only thing I would do is unscreened one-timers, don't nerf the goalie, and 2, don't make the goalie move out of the way when someone gets a green one-timer. Make them pick their shot, right? Like, I those would be the only things that I would really adjust to try and fix for the game. And the stamina issue. Like, I don't know what's going on with stamina, but it needs to be addressed. Again, gameplay is all subjective. There will be people out there that kind of like it. There'll be people out there that can't stand it. There'll be people out there that don't mind it, and that is 100% okay. You know, so just something to keep in mind. But that is going to do it for today's episode. Again, I'll have one more episode. I'll record it later tonight before I go to Montreal. Thank you guys again for watching. I'll see you next time. Have a good one.